It takes a few seconds.
Ya está conectado.
Okay.
Pero tú me tienes que dar ahí.
Ready?
Nama Shrishtam Manam Apisachi Putram Atraswarupam Rupam Tasya Grajam Urupurim Maturim Gostavatim Radhakundam Girivaram Aho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Natosmi Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila chapter 23. Continuing with Sanatana Shiksha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to Sanatana Goswami. We are on text 35. Mahaprabhu is talking to Sanatana Goswami about the upper stages of bhakti, post-ruchi. Once ruchi has been achieved, then the attachment deepens to a shakti, bhav, prem. Maduram maduram vapurasya vibhur maduram maduram vadanam maduram madhugandhi mriddu smitham ithad aho maduram 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 maduram. Oh my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body, and the soft smile on his face, which is like the fragrance of honey, is sweeter still. It's also from Bilva Mangal Thakur's Krishna Kanamrita. Krishna Leela Stani Kare Sarvadava Sati. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always resides in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. Kadaham Yamunatire Namanita Vakirtayan Udaspaha Pundarikaksha Rachayisyami Tandavam. O Lord Pundarikaksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the banks of the Yamuna? Krishna ratira chinna e kailun vivaran, Krishna premera chinna ebe suna sanatan. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, bhava, for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. Oh Sanatan, please hear this from me. So there's some distinctions here. As mentioned just before, Mahaprabhu is taking Rupa Goswami through a guided tour, like describing the symptoms of various stages of bhakti between Shraddha and Prem. And we were touching on Ruchi yesterday. After Ruchi comes various more developed levels of love for Krishna. Ashakti, Bhav, Prem. These are just gradations of intensity of love for Krishna as it develops, becomes purer, more condensed. And so this is exactly what Mahaprabhu says. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, rati. And now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love for Krishna. So it sounds a little here in the translation as if rati is not love for Krishna, and now what is going to be described next is actually love for Krishna. But it's a little more nuanced than that. It's degrees of development of love. So prema is the highest expression, the highest development and expression of Krishna Bhakti, love for Krishna. But rati is and bhav are also very high development, stages of development of bhakti. So it's not as if anything below prema is not actually love for Krishna. Just various nuanced degrees of development of that love. Yanrachite Krishna prema karaye udaya tanravakya kriya mudra vigyeha na bujaya. Even the most learned men cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Dan yasyayam nava prema yasyon milati chetasi antar vanibhir apyasya mudra shushtu sudurgama. Even a most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality in whose heart love of Godhead has awakened. Evam vrata svapriya nama kirtya jatanurago druta chitta uchai hasat yato roditu roti gayatya unmadavan nrityati lokavaya. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text 40. So that is in line with the verse we were talking about the other day. Rupa Goswami saying that the effect of Shuddhanam, the pure name, is that it takes over all of the indriyas. Sarvendriyanam kritam. All the senses in the body, all the faculties, all of one's faculties that they usually use to navigate the world, interface with the world, they're all taken over. One enters a different world, and one is responding to that different world, an internal world, causing one to chant loudly. It's just like a madman. The madman has his own internal subjective reality, which to him perhaps makes some sense, but it doesn't fit with the outside world. He's experiencing that which other people cannot experience. So it's the same with a devotee who is under the influence of the powerful effect of the holy name. Prema krame badihaya snehamana pranaya raga anuraga bhava mahabhava haya. Love of Godhead increases and is manifest as affection. Counter love, attachment, sub-attachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy.
These categories are
These are
still below prema?
These are like subcategories of prema.
They are into prema. They are
Yeah.
varieties of prema.
That's why it says prema krame. Krame means the development, or it's translated here as gradually. Prema krame badihaya. Gradual development of love. Permutations of prema. So, subcategories of prema.
So they are all prema.
Yes. Bija ikshurasa guda tabe kanda sara sharkara sita michari sudha michari ara. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. Ihayaiche krame nirmala krame badasvara rati prema dira taiche badaye asvara. Just as the taste of sugar increases as it is gradually purified, One should understand that when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning seed, its taste increases. Adhikari beri rati pancha parakara santadasya shakya vatsalya madhura ara. According to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. E panchastai bhava haya pancharasa ye rasi bhakti sukhi Krishna haya vasa. These 5 transcendental mellows exist permanently. The devotee may be attracted to one of these mellows, and thus he becomes happy. Krishna also becomes inclined towards such a devotee and comes under his mellow. So Krishna responds to the devotee according to the, as mentioned before, Prabhupada is translating rasa as mellow. This word M-E-L-L-O-W. Mellow, which is an old-fashioned word, not so much in use these days. But it means like a taste, a type of mood. Rasa. 5 rasas. Shantadasya shakya vatsalya madhura. The devotee is attracted to a particular rasa. He approaches Krishna in that mood, and Krishna responds in the same mood. Indeed, Krishna submits to the love of the devotee in the mood through which the devotee approaches him. So comes under Hayavasa, comes under the control. The infinite comes under the control of the devotee. There's many verses. It's a common theme in Shastra, talking of the supremacy of bhakti, that even though Krishna is adhoksaja, beyond the purview of the senses, and independent, I forget the Sanskrit term for independent. Svatantra. Svatantra, adhoksaja. There's many terms to describe the similar concept, that Krishna is independent, unable to be brought under the control of anyone, all-powerful, but is brought under the control of the devotee via the devotee's love. Some people have said, well, if Krishna doesn't need anything, why, what is it that the service achieves? He doesn't need it. What does Krishna need? Krishna has a sense of indebtedness to those who love him, to his devotees, and thus Krishna needs people to repay that debt to his devotees. And that's why service to Krishna itself directly is not the ultimate endeavor for a devotee, but rather dasa. Das anudasaha, as Mahaprabhu himself has expressed. Gopi Bhatur Parakamalayur dasa anudasaha. Das anudas means servant. And Krishna submits to such love. So that's the nature of Krishna. Unable, inconquerable, Svatantra, adhoksaja, cannot be approached, what to speak of conquered, with anything except love. And there's many verses throughout Shastra that describe that. Jnane prayasamudapasya ramanta eva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadi avatam stane stita shrutikatam tanuvan manopir ye prayaso jitajiso pyasitais trilokyam. Trilokyam means Lord of the 3 worlds. Someone who's a boss, Lord of the 3 worlds, coming under the control of love. Sanatana Goswami, in his commentary on the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, known as Dasa Tipani, he says that Hridvag Vapubiya Vidadan Namast. No. Jnane Prasamudapasya Jivanti Shruti Katham Tanuvan Manopyat. Mind, body, words. The mind, body, and words of Krishna, of a devotee, are used to serve Krishna, and they, in turn, the love of expressed through a devotee's use of mind, body, and words to serve Krishna, causes Krishna to use his mind, his body, and his words to serve the devotee. So it becomes a mutual exchange of love. And there's many verses. Aham bhakta paradhino hyasvatantra ivadvija sadubir grasta hridayo bhaktir bhakta janapriya. My devotees' hearts live in me, my hearts live in them.
Where are those slokas from?
Well, that last these are Bhagavatam slokas. The last one, Aham bhakta paradhino, that's spoken by Narayan to Durvasa Muni when he's seeking refuge. He's being chased by the Sudarshan Chakra, having insulted Ambarish Maharaj. Sudarshan Chakra is chasing him and he's seeking refuge. And finally he ends up meeting Vishnu and seeking relief from being pursued by the Sudarshan Chakra. And he's wondering what's going on. He sees himself as one of the top most sages, rishis, munis. And he's like, what is happening? Like I've had a disagreement or a altercation with a king. Why am I being chased by the Sudarshan Chakra? He's just a king. I'm like this highly advanced spiritualist. And so Krishna explains to him the true status of the devotee. Hyasvatantra, again we have that word svatantra, independent. So Krishna says in this verse, I am independent, but I'm not independent when it comes to those who love me. So those who love me, they actually conquer my independence. I lose my independence. Sadhubir grasta hridayo bhaktir bhakta janapriya. They are more dear to me than myself.
So that was the devotee, that king, who is he? And that.
Yeah, so that was Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj. And he was welcoming Durvasa Muni to his home. He was doing a fast. And Durvasa Muni arrived, and with his many thousands of disciples, he's said to have 10,000 disciples. Durvasa Muni arrives and goes to bathe in the river with his disciples. In the meantime, time comes for Ambarish Maharaj to break his fast. He's doing a special fast, and the time comes to break his fast. Ekadasi day, perhaps. Dwadasi day, perhaps. And, just as with the start of a fast, there's also a proper time to break the fast if you want to get the benefits that are ascribed to that fast. So that time comes, and his Brahmin advisors are saying to him, you have to break the fast. But etiquette is that you don't eat before your guest. And his guest, Durvasa, this powerful sage, is away bathing in the river. And everyone's a little concerned because Durvasa Muni has a very famously hot temper. And even though he's a rishi, a sage, he's known to curse people that cross him. But anyway, so the king decides, Ambarish Maharaj, he decides to break his fast simply by eating a tulsi leaf, or taking a little water, or both perhaps. Anyway, a symbolic breaking of the fast, but without actually consuming food. But then when Durvasa Muni returns from bathing in the river, he finds out about this, and he becomes angry. and he conjures a demon, an ogre, and his anger, and this demon goes to attack Ambarish Maharaj, and the Sudarshan Chakra comes to protect Ambarish Maharaj and punish Durvasa, and it chases Durvasa all around. He's seeking refuge from Lord Shiva, etc., and eventually he ends up seeking refuge from Lord Vishnu, from whence the Sudarshan Chakra had originated. And then Lord Vishnu describes some really quite wonderful verses in glorification of the devotee, in glorification of the supremacy of bhakti and those who possess bhakti, i.e. the devotees. And that is one famous one. Aham bhakta paradhino. Devotees are even more dear to me than myself, and I lose my independence when the devotee is approaching me with love, serving me with love, bhakti, then that I become their devotee. They're more dear to me than myself. There's a purport. Says, okay. So Krishna, and that response from the devotee matches the mood in which the devotee approaches. Which makes sense. If the Lord is coming under the control of the devotee, then that control is also going to be according to the flavor of the devotee's love for Krishna, not in any kind of discord with that. Premadika stai bhava samagri milane Krishna bhakti rasa rupe paya pariname. When the permanent ecstasies are mixed with other ingredients, devotional service and love of Godhead is transformed and becomes composed of transcendental mallows. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the following definition is given. This is the purport. Atasya Keshava Ratir Lakshitaya Nigadyate Samagri Pariposhena Parama Rasa Rupata Vibhaver Anubhavaischa Satvikay Vyabhicharibihi Svadyatvam Hridi Bhaktanam Anita Shravanadibhi Esha Krishna Ratistai Bhavo Bhakti Raso Bhavet. Love for Krishna, Keshava, as previously described, reaches the supreme state of being composed of mallows when its ingredients are fulfilled by means of Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvika, Vyabhichari. Hearing and chanting are activated and the devotee is able to taste love for Krishna. Then attachment for Krishna or permanent ecstasy becomes the mallow of devotional service. So we have various permutations, these high levels of Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have high states of bhakti known as bhava, this high state of bhakti known as bhava, prem, permutates and transforms into various permutations. Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvik, Vyabhichari. Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvik, Vyabhichari, Sthai Bhava Rasa Hai. Vibhav, Anubhav, Sattvika, Vyabhichari, Sthai Bhava Rasa Haya E Chari Mili. The permanent ecstasy becomes more and more tasteful, transcendental mallow through the mixture of special ecstasy, subordinate ecstasy, natural ecstasy, and transitory ecstasy. Dadiyena Kanda Maricha Karpura Milane Rasalakya Rasahaya Apurvas Vadane. Yogurt mixed with sugar candy, black pepper and camphor is very palatable and tasty. Excuse me. Similarly, when permanent ecstasy mixes with other ecstatic symptoms, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. Dvividha vibhava alambana udipana vampsi svaradi udipana krishnadi alambana. There are two kinds of particular ecstasies. Vibhav. One is called the support, the other is called the awakening. The vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening. And Lord Krishna himself is an example of the support. So we can say, there's words used here that are sometimes difficult to grasp the concept of what's going on, and it's a little unnecessary because these states are something that will be experienced at some stage, hopefully, by devotees, all of us included, sometime down the line. And until then, they're theoretical, so we're trying to appreciate something which is not only theoretical, but it's of a theory of a condition that is quite rare, not commonly achieved. So it's not only theoretical, but it's also uncommon. And outside of experiencing them oneself, then we can only go, oh, this produces that, and this is a permutation of that. It's all a little dry. But nonetheless, Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatana Goswami about the various flavors and shades, permutations of the state of Mahabhav or Prem, the topmost stages of bhakti, starting with Shraddha, right? That we've been talking about the last couple of days. So when ecstasy mixes with other, it becomes unprecedentedly tasty. One is called the support, another is called the awakening. We can see it as one is the stimulus or the cause, and the other is the effect. So, the one that's called the support here, the vibration of Krishna's flute is an example of the awakening, and Lord Krishna himself is an example of the support. Anubhav smita nritya gidadi ubhasvara stambari satvika anubhavara bitara. The subordinate ecstasies, smiling, dancing, singing, as well as different manifestations in the body. The natural ecstasies, those are the subordinate ecstasies. The natural ecstasies, such as being stunned, are considered amongst the subordinate ecstasies. Anubhav, subordinate. Ubhasvara. This has gone into, explored in a little more detail in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And the purport to that verse we've just read covers some of that. It's fairly long. I won't go into it. Nirvedaha shari tetrisa vyavichari sabamili rasahaya chamatkarakari. There are other ingredients beginning with complete despondency and jubilation. Although there are 33 varieties. And when these combine, altogether there are 33 varieties. And when these combine, the mellow becomes very wonderful. Panchavidha rasa shanta dasya shakya vatsalya madura nama shringara rasa sabate prabalya. There are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, paternal affection, and conjugal love, which is also known as the mellow of sweetness. Conjugal love excels all the others. Shantarase shantarate prema paryantahaya dasyarati raga paryanta krameta padaya. The position of neutrality increases up to the point where one can appreciate love of Godhead. The mellow of servitorship gradually increases to the point of spontaneous love of Godhead. Shakya vatsalya ratipaya anuragasima subaladyara bhava paryanta premera mahima. After the mellow of servitorship, there are mellows of friendship and paternal love, which increase to subordinate, spontaneous love. Anuraga. The greatness of love found in friends like Subal extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead. So the various rasas also extend up to certain qualities or grades of bhakti. Shantaras, being the first of the rasas, extends so far, and then Dasyaras a little further, friendship a little further than that, etc. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We'll read from Revealed Truth by Srila Bhaktisinoda Govindadeva Swami Maharaj. 1 subchapter, a couple of paragraphs. Appealing to the court of mercy, when devotees try to chant the Lord's holy names, they may feel, I cannot attentively chant the Lord's name. I do not have a pure mood of surrender and devotion, so who am I? What qualification do I have? Krishna is so great. Why would Krishna bestow his merciful glance upon me? Through this. Really? No.
It really sounds like the same words.
Well, it's the same subject matter, which is the transcendental vibration form of the Lord and praying for mercy. So, it's the same theme. This book is compiled from different talks by Gurudev. So a lot of the subchapters are taken from different places and they're patched together according to theme. So sometimes there seems to be a bit of overlap. You know, if each chapter was one sitting of Gurudev talking about a particular subject, you'd find it to be quite systematic and consistent. But it's not. It's like, 1990, one talk may have been given, and then 2008, another talk on the same subject, and they've been cut and paste and put together according to theme. So there may be a little bit of overlap. Anyway, we'll continue. I don't think I read this one. I think it was a previous one, but it's the same topic. Through this realization and mood of self-examination, the devotee will eventually conclude to pray, "The only hope that I have is that I may receive Krishna's causeless mercy. If his causeless mercy suddenly comes to me, I will consider that my greatest good fortune, and I will get everything through that. If we bring ourselves before the Lord in the court of justice, we have no hope. But if we bring ourselves before the Lord in the court of mercy, we may have so much hope." Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami have expressed, "Apane ayogya deke mane pan kshobha, tatapi tomara gune upajaya lobha." We are sure that we are unqualified and insignificant. There is no doubt about this. We are fallen souls with many disqualifications. But what we are also sure of is that Krishna is very merciful and highly qualified. There is no doubt about that. When we hear these types of prayers and promises in the scriptures, we become fully enthusiastic. Krishna's mercy is infinite and can easily take us to the transcendental abode of his service. Krishna's nature is to attract the jiva souls and reveal his ecstasy, Krishna Prem, in their hearts. Krishna is so merciful and can do everything, so we can always be hopeful. Devotees who are very attached to Mahaprabhu's teachings will try to chant the Lord's holy name with this exclusive mood. We have no other way but to chant the Lord's holy name in humble surrender. Devotees may sometimes count while they chant. They may sometimes chant without counting. They may sometimes chant quietly and sometimes chant loudly. In all circumstances, they chant with a mood of prayer. Whether or not the Lord will see me or bestow his mercy upon me is his personal matter. I must simply chant his holy name and have faith that one day I may receive his causeless mercy. Maybe we did read this yesterday. I put the marker in the wrong place. Well, we revised it today. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai. Yes. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Parikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varg Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai 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 Jai. Jai